In the fall of 1973, Kathy and I made a permanent move to Burnsville, Minnesota to begin working with this fledgling congregation called Prince of Peace. It became very apparent that not only was this congregation intent on meeting the needs of this community, but this congregation wanted to do that in very unique ways. It was very apparent that the Spirit of God was calling this congregation out from itself and was calling this congregation forward into a future that was relatively unknown. But the Spirit of God was moving in the hearts and lives of the people of Prince of Peace to do something very unique, not only in Burnsville, but in Christendom in the United States.
And it was very interesting because in 1974 we came in and we saw a model of what this new site was going to be like. And in 1976 we picked up our chairs from Nicollet Avenue. Many of us walked up the hill, brought our chairs into the sanctuary, sat down and had worship.
You know, it seems like that's the way the Spirit of God works, that the Spirit calls and we're invited to respond. And the difficult thing is that we're not sure what we're going to find when we get there. It may be very uncomfortable because we won't know the geography of where we're headed. We're not certain who's going to be with us or who will come along for the ride. But we know that the Spirit is calling us. And our task is to respond.
Prince of Peace has always been, for me, a place that would take risk. So they took risk. When they built the first building, there was no plan. There was no capital campaign. And we've had capital campaigns since then. We've had ups and downs as things happened in our congregation. But this plan has been really exciting for me, and I think that all of us can reach into our pockets and work hard to make a difference and to make this work.
All the time, people ask me what they can expect in the new building transformation here at Prince of Peace. Well, there's a couple of things that come to mind for me. And the first one is this, and let me paint a picture for you. I think that in the new building, something you can imagine is walking in the front door with your family, seeing where your kids are gonna go from the front door, taking your coats off, hanging them up in one spot, dropping the kids off at check-in for children's ministry, walking a few steps into worship that morning, having time after worship to go get the kids, and in the same place. Your kids can get a cookie or a cinnamon roll. You can enjoy conversation with the other parents over a cup of coffee, and community can actually happen here at Prince of Peace.
It seems as if, again, the Spirit of God is calling us forward, calling us into a new future, calling us into service, calling us into meeting the needs of those who are in poverty, meeting the needs of families with young children, and meeting the needs of those who are the oldest of our citizens.
The next years ahead of us are some of the most exciting because finally we've got all the energy of this place kind of going in one direction, from our vision to our ministries and now to our building.
So although we don't know all the details yet, we're still learning how this will all work. I am tremendously excited for the future, and specifically having everything under one roof where we can worship, we can come together and talk and laugh.
It's all in the same church because we're all in this together. And that's one of the enduring and I think loud signals that this capital campaign and the building project communicates, is that we're in this together. And it's not just stuff that's on paper. It's stuff that is done in bricks and mortar, and it's stuff that's written on our hearts, and it's where we're going.
My wife and I wouldn't be involved, I don't think, wouldn't want to give to this campaign if we thought that the fiscal situation here wasn't sound. One thing actually I was impressed with when I first got here was the vigor of the campaign as far as to lower the debt. Now we're able to do something even better for our kids and this community And so that's why I'm really excited to be a part of this campaign, to give to this campaign, and to see it come to fruition. Granted, I haven't been involved in a lot of these campaigns, but I know that they're not always well run. And this seems to be so detail-oriented, so focused on making sure people understand what we're about, what we're doing, and where we want to go. And I'm just so excited to be a part of it, and I just cannot wait to see the construction start and having this new building, watching us as a congregation grow around it.
And so, why should you invest in this thing? Well, we're going somewhere exciting, and know the places we'll go. And so I hope that you'll join the Cramey family, Julie, Forrest, and Emil, as we invest in this vision, as we invest our hearts, as we invest our time as volunteers, and as we invest our treasure as we give to this capital campaign.